Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah and this is actually going to be my very first YouTube video that I've ever made on YouTube. I hope you guys like it, and I will post all the details to all of the products that I used in the description bar. Up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Okay, let's jump right in. So for primer, I'm going to be using the Milani Prime Light, and I am just going to apply that to my face with a Real Technique sponge. And I'm just going to make sure I blend it all over my face, just pressing it into my pores. Alright, to prime the eyes, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Eye Potion in the shade Eden. And I'm just going to apply that to the tops of my eyelids. And this is just going to create a clean slate to apply the eyeshadow. And I'm just going to blend that eye primer out with a Sonia Kashuk blending brush. And it's just a little dense blending brush to kind of just spread the product evenly over my eyelids. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette. And I'm going to take that top left shade, the banana powder color, to set the eye primer. And I'm just going to be using a big fluffy brush to set that with. Obsessed with this palette. Next, I'm going to be using the orangey peach shade in the crease as a transition shade, and I'm going to be using a MAC 224 brush to blend that out. And this is the MAC 224 brush. I'm just obsessed with it. It's just really good for blending. Next, I'm going to take this Morphe M441 brush and the lightest brown shade in that palette and go in with the crease just to kind of darken the crease up. And I keep adding in more and more of that lightest brown shade just to kind of build up that depth in my crease. And I'm going back in with that MAC 224 brush just to kind of blend out the work that I've already done. Now I'm going in with the Makeup Geek Soft Dome brush, and I am adding in a even darker shade into the crease, and this brush is just going to focus that darker shade really deep into that crease. Okay, what are you doing? Yeah, stop. Now I'm going to be taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills double-ended brush, and it was the brush that came with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to add an even darker brown into my crease, and this brush is just going to be a little bit more fluffier than the last brush that I used, just to kind of really push that product and get it really blended. I know I keep saying really, but I mean really. Now I'm gonna start pushing that darker brown onto the top of my eyelid. Whenever using a dark shade like the shade black, you always want to make sure you tap off any excess product that you have on your brush so you can just build, and it won't just like be a big blob of just black on your eye. Got something in my eye. And I'm going to add some more of that darker brown just to make sure that the black looks like it transitions into black. It's not just one big line of black all over my eye. Now I'm going to be using the other side of that double-ended Anastasia brush. And I'm just going to take more black and press the black onto the lid of my eyeball, just so that the look looks really deep and smoky, not so gray like it looks right now. Now I'm going to add more of the orange peachy shade just to the top of the shadow, just to make it look like more of a transition. Like I said, I don't want it to just look like black line. I want it to be like an orangey to brown to black. Obsessed with this eyeshadow palette. It's all mattes, and I honestly feel like this palette could create any type of look. Next, I'm going to do my eyeliner, and I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Liner in the shade Noir. And I'm not really going to go into much detail of this because it's super hard to do on camera. Moving on to foundation, I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Lock-It in the shade Light 49 Neutral. And I'm just going to apply a couple pumps of that to my face and to my beauty blender and blend it out. Next, I'm going to take this Wet n Wild buffer brush, and I swear that's not mold on my brush. It's black eyeshadow from the Tarte palette that I broke, and now there's black eyeshadow on a million of my brushes that's stained and will not come off. But I'm just going to buff that foundation into my skin really well, into my hairline. I felt like my eyes were not blended enough, so I'm going to take the MAC 224 brush and go back and just keep blending. I do this all the time. I'll be doing my makeup and then realize my eyeshadow is not blended enough for me and go back and just blend. Next, I'm going to be concealing under my eyes with the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light and Neutral. I'm obsessed with this concealer. Something in my nose. I'm crazy. I'm going to blend that out with my Real Technique sponge, and I swear it's not dirty, it's just white and the foundation soaks into it. And notice that when I'm blending this out, I'm not dragging it, I'm just pouncing the Beauty Blender onto my face, because you don't want to drag the concealer because it will move the primer and the foundation that you've applied underneath it. Now I'm just taking a large powder brush and just blending my foundation and concealer together a little bit more, just to kind of make myself feel better about it. Honestly, I love using big powder brushes. Now I'm going to bake with a Laura Mercier powder, and I'm just going to apply some of that to my Real Technique sponge and just dab it on under my eyes, on my chin, the top of my nose, and my forehead. And I gotta do my brows because honestly I cannot live without brows. And I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Soft Brown. And I think I'm using an e.l.f. angled brush, which was $1 at Target. I love e.l.f. brushes. Please ignore my serious face. I cannot stand the face of concentration. Shoot me down to fire away, but I'm a heavyweight. I know I'm not going into much detail on how I actually fill in my brows, but I promise to dedicate a whole video to that tutorial. I'm a heavyweight. Next, I'm going to be cleaning up under my brows with the Tarte Shape Tape and just a concealer brush. Push me down to the ground. Now I'm going to be contouring with the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, and I'm going to be using a Sephora face contour brush to blend that out. But I'm here to stay, no you can't get to me. And there is no barricade that I can tear away. Shoot me down, go fire away, but I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a heavyweight. And after I go in and do my contour, I always blend that contour out with the Duo Fiber brush just to give it more of an airbrush look. Now I'm going to go in with the Tarte Contour Palette and highlight under my eyes and dust off that Laura Mercier powder that I applied earlier. And for blush, I'm going to be using this MAC blush in the shade Melba with my Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks. Now time for highlighter. I'm going to be using this highlighter by Makeup Revolution in the shade Golden Lights, and I'm just going to apply that to the top of my cheekbone and making a C shape to the top of my brow bone, and I'm going to connect that with the Beauty Blender and just blend it out. setting spray, I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild setting spray. And I'm going to give you a little slow-mo action of that. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. This is the only high-end mascara that I think I've ever purchased, except for maybe a mascara from MAC. But I'm obsessed with it. I used to use the L'Oreal Voluminous religiously, but this one has become one of my all-time favorites. Now I'm going to take an angled brush and go underneath my eye with the lightest and the darkest brown shade of that palette, and just kind of connect the smoky eye to underneath my eye. Now for lips, I'm going to take this Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Androgyny. And I'm just going to apply that to my lips like anyone would do. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video ever on YouTube. I had so much fun creating this and so much fun filming. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and get up another video of just something more natural. This is just like my first video ever, and this smoky eye is like one of my favorite looks. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.